All right, hi everybody. It is a Tuesday evening, right around 8:40 or so. I want to give you a brief update on what's happening out there before the president speaks at about 9 o'clock, because I know a lot of folks will be wanting to watch that. But overall, as far as any severe storms going on, good news right now. Not a whole lot as far as anything severe over us or approaching. But as you can see on the wind gust map there, we're still dealing with very strong wind gusts. And again, that's our main concern tonight, are these very strong gusts. And then we add to that a little rain in there, and it's going to make things a little sloppy through the overnight hours. But as far as any other severe storm risk at the moment, everything over us and just west of us remains below severe levels. Most of that's a little bit farther down to the south. Again, that's where more of the energy is right now. But again, these gusts out there are strong enough. So let's get right to this. I'll reduce me and increase the map there. Let's see. Hello, Jennifer, watching from the Cookeville area. Hello, Ronald from Cleveland. Hello, Brenda from Lafayette. All right, folks, here's what we have going on right now. If you take a look at the wind gusts out there, it's still between 30, 40 miles an hour, surpassing 40 in Winchester, 40 at Level Field, Cleveland around 30. So it's going to be like this throughout the night. And as I'll show you in radar, there's going to be a very narrow stripe moving by that could have a few embedded storms, or at least a few embedded areas of wind gusts peaking. But even behind the system, what's going to be very interesting is once all this rain moves out by the early stage of the early morning hours, then behind it, so even stronger gusts come in without any rain. So I want you to know that to keep in mind that throughout the night, periodically, the wind speeds are going to be up a bit. That's really our main concern right now, because several areas are under wind advisories and high wind warnings. So let me go through the outline of those for you. And you can see there are a lot. I mean, this is rare. You see a lot of high wind warnings. Again, this is outside any storms. These are what we call non-storm wind gusts, okay? So high wind warning out along the Cumberland Plateau counties, 40 to 60 mile an hour gusts, that's where they'll peak out. Higher over those higher peaks of the eastern part of Monroe County, but down here across northwest Georgia, gusts as high as 55. And in fact, in the area shaded in brown are the main wind advisory, you still could have gusts 45 to 50 possible. So again, this is not even associated with any storms. So I think typically what we're used to when you have situations like this is that it gets a little breezy, then a big squall line rolls on by. This is a little different, okay? This is going to be very windy before, during, and after any rain. In fact, even after the rain is gone late tonight, those gusts may be a little bit stronger. So please understand that, and that's the reason why this is kind of a different scenario. And it's mainly the wind tonight that's the big issue. It started causing some power outages in spots. I know when I was driving around early this evening, some limbs were down, so you got to be careful for that through the overnight hours. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the radar view. Here's a radar view. It's kind of ho-hum. That's a good thing, though. We like that. Ho-hum's good when you're looking at radar. For the most part, you're dealing with a lot of rain. It's battling dry air. So as the rain tries to move in, it's been so dry over us, it's kind of eating it up. But eventually the rain is reaching the ground, parts of Grundy, parts of Franklin, and parts of Marion, back through Jackson County. But again, none of this is severe. Let me show you the one spot. I'll zoom out. The one area where it could get a little nasty, we could get those little peaks of gust, that line right there. I'll pause it. It's that line right there. That's the one main line that our high-res model has been showing, and while we're kind of watching for a quick uptick in the gusts. It'll be with that line. There's only one warning along it, and it's south and west of Birmingham. No other warnings along it, although wind gusts could get a little stronger. But we'll take a little deep dive into that for a second. And I'll show you, this is well west of the Coleman area, west of I-65. When we take a look at the velocity scan in it, notice how the winds are straight up and down. Those are straight line winds, just boom, pushing on through. So you can take what's been normally 25 to 35, quickly produce a 50, 60 mile an hour wind gust, and then move on through. That's kind of what we're watching. And it's that main line there. But notice how it does not, it's moving northeast over the past hour. So I would say by the 10 o'clock hour Eastern time, Jackson to Cobb County approaching there. We'll see if it actually holds together. But in advance of that, it's mainly just rain. So really, this is the only area right there we'll watch. We'll see if it intensifies anymore, but that's what we'll keep an eye on, through the time the president's speaking and the time we have our newscast later on this evening, there'll be this little line right there that we're going to watch. And notice how this is not going to be an all-night thing as far as the rain. I mean, this quickly kicks out. This is way in advance of the main front. It's going to kick out pretty quickly. So we'll get some showers, non-severe, and then we'll just kind of keep an eye on this line. There's far more energy farther to the south of the system and not much instability at all over us. So, again, the wind gusts are going to stay in place regardless of any storms or not. It's going to remain windy. We're going to have the rain with that. So if we're driving tonight, if you're driving around windy and raining, not a good idea. Okay. So that's just overall the general thinking there. Zooming out a little bit more, you can see that line right there. Main frontal boundary is back here where that wind shift is. So this is way out in advance of the main front. It's just kind of outpacing the energy there a little bit. So there's that very narrow line we've been kind of talking about. But again, kind of where it bows out here toward Birmingham, it's going to be right along this area here, maybe getting closer to DeKalb County where it gets a little stronger, Birmingham to Atlanta. So mainly to our south where that line will be a little bit stronger, but we'll watch it and make sure nothing changes to that. Now, the big area of low pressure we're watching is way back here. This is a deepening area of low pressure. I mentioned in my earlier update this afternoon that the pressure would be equal to or close to that of a tropical storm or a minimal hurricane. It's that deep of an area of low pressure. That's why the winds are so strong. It's the gradient or the pressure change that you're feeling. So right now, pressures are lowering in advance of the low. And then behind it, as it retreats tomorrow night, the winds will be increasing as pressures go back up. So it digs a hole, then it fills it back in. Kind of like when you open up, say you open up a 2-liter of Coke, okay? There's high pressure in the bottle. There's lower pressure outside. When you twist the lid, you hear that, psh, that's the wind caused by high pressure in the bottle to low pressure outside. Similar scenario. So you got the same type of pressure gradient going on here with this low. That's why it's going to be very windy. And that's why I even think once the rain moves on out tonight, we'll have some strong gusts behind it. So the winds are going to be howling throughout the night. They're going to be howling tomorrow too. So that's why we're staying alert throughout the day tomorrow. It's not just something that's going to be, one and done as far as the wind. No, it's going to stick around tomorrow. And again, there's a severe weather risk. I just want to show you one more time. Overall, most of us are under that level 1 risk. It's a low end risk because the winds are already strong enough. So any elevated wind gust with any passing storm will quickly push that severe. That's the reason why we see that. A little bit better chance to the south and west. But again, you go through these damaging wind risk categories higher to the south. Same thing with the tornado risk. That tornado risk has been pretty low. But anytime you do with a little line like that, you can have a quick spin up. There's a reason why it's not exactly 0. So we'll watch that, but this is not a major outbreak scenario. Now, this is, I tell you what, let me show the high res first of all. This is the latest high res model update. This updates every hour. And, the rain has been sort of outpacing the radar bits. Let's go to 11 o'clock. So notice here, this is at 11 o'clock. It's not a live radar. It's at 11 o'clock. So there's that very narrow line where some gusts could be a little stronger and heavier downpours. So that's around 11, around midnight, around the city, if that line holds together. But that's where some, higher gusts could be. And around 1 to 2, Cleveland and east. By 2 to 3, that's all kicking away to the east rather quickly. So again, while the heavy rain may end, it's still going to be windy out here. Okay. Still going to be pretty windy. So our future track shows similar situation, although I think it's a little behind. Notice the time says 10:30. I think it's going to be over here by 11. So I think that is outpacing the model. Again, I think by midnight, the line will be a little farther east, so about 30, 40 miles. Again, see how the winds, there's a wind shift right there. Okay, that's kind of what it's noting. That's where you could get a little peak of strong wind gusts there. And then by 1 to 2, I think it's going to be more over here toward Polk County. And then by 2:30, kicking out east of Murphy. And notice it's still windy back behind the system. So the winds aren't going to go away once the rain stops. Now, this is tomorrow morning. It's still windy. We're going to reach our high temperature late morning. If you go to work or school tomorrow, carry a coat. You know why? Because late day gets colder. This is by afternoon. The drive home from work and school, 30s and 40s. Few light showers will come back. We'll start the day sunny. You may think, hey, everything's better. I'm warning you. It's letting you know. No, it's not. Things will change during the afternoon. Spotty showers around, some light snow showers. And as I mentioned yesterday in these updates, snow showers are possible. This is a good favored setup for the plateau. I think this area here, Mont Eagle, Pikeville, Crossville, pick up some light accumulation. An inch or less, but still significant there. Not much in the valley. You may see some flakes in the valley tomorrow night, but ground temperatures will be plenty warm. And, of course, the higher terrain here, seeing a little bit more. But it's still going to be windy. This takes us through early Thursday morning. Temperatures near freezing. It'll be a breezy day Thursday, but drier. Temperatures back near 50. Okay. So understand that things will be going downhill as far as temperatures tomorrow. These are the wind speeds tonight. And again, you're going to have wind gusts 35 to 45, some gusts as high as 50 to 60 as that main line comes on by. But once that line does move by, winds come down a bit tomorrow. It's still going to be 25 to 30, but not nearly the same gusts we had today, but still worthy of that wind advisory. And then winds, they'll stay up on 15 to 20 throughout the day on Thursday, but still not quite as bad. As far as rainfall amounts, again, half inch to an inch on average. It's a fast mover, and it's battling dry air. I have a feeling it's going to be lower than these numbers show. I think it's going to be a little bit lower. I'll put it in the half inch to inch category. Not much of a flooding threat because of the fast duration of it. Okay? So again, I'll break away here momentarily so folks can join the live coverage of the president speaking, but I'll show you what we're going to be watching for the rest of the evening. We'll have another live broadcast coming up a little bit later. And of course, News Channel 9 coming up at 11. But we got non-severe rain coming in, although the gusts are strong. So it's going to be windy. They're going to have rain to it. So windy and rainy. And we'll just keep an eye on that right there. That little narrow line right there could have a little spike in wind gust. It has one little warning on it south of Birmingham, but there's more energy there than our way. Again, the dry air is kind of eating away at the initial run of rain. It'll eventually get here. But so far, none of this back here to the west has been severe, which is good. But the severe gusts we have already are strong enough. Okay? So hopefully that answers the questions you have through the overnight. I will end this broadcast for now. We'll have another update coming up later this evening as we watch the president's speech. And then again, for News Channel 9, maybe delayed a little bit because of the speech, but we'll be back on as well and tracking this for you through the early stage of the overnight hours as well. All right, everybody, stay safe out there. Okay, bring your pets inside as well. A little scary for them with the wind. Stay safe, and we'll keep you updated throughout the night. Have a great night.